Hello, friends. Today we'll study a chapter in English literature, Miss Pickerell in Space. This chapter is written by Ellen MacGregor, who was an American English writer. She wrote many children's books, but was known best for a Miss Pickerell series. Through these books, the author wanted to write fantasy literature for children that discuss scientific facts in a simple manner. Let's start with the story. On her way home after meeting her nephew and nieces, Miss Pickerell meets Mr. Haggerty. She gives him a lift in his car. He tells us that he is on his way to join a scientific expedition. When she reaches home, Miss Pickerell sees a strange and enormous pencil-shaped metal structure outside her house. She sees two men going inside it with the help of a ladder. She then meets a young man named Wilbur who tells her that the object is a spaceship. Later, Miss Pickerell goes inside it because she was very eager. So Miss Pickerell goes inside it and she enters that spaceship without letting anybody know it. That means she went inside it when no one was looking. The men hear someone coming in and think that it is Mr. Haggerty. And before Miss Pickerell can say anything, what happened? The spaceship takes off and in fear she faints. When Miss Pickerell comes to her senses and the pressure was gone at that time, she felt light but she felt giddy, as if she had no weight at all. She was frightened and wondered if she dared to move. She was almost afraid to open her eyes, but she did, just a little. Across from Miss Pickerell was another curved bunk, similar to the one in which she was lying. A man was sitting in the middle, shaking his head slowly and going tuck, tuck, tuck. "Lady," he said, "you have absolutely no business being here," because she was unexpected, and that is why this man said this. "You had absolutely no business being outside my house." Miss Pickerell also said. Miss Pickerell said that, "Okay, if I don't have any business being here, then I think you absolutely have no business being outside my house." What happened? What was there an explosion? Nothing like the explosion there's going to be when the captain finds out about this. "That reminds me," Miss Pickerell said. "I want to see this captain of yours." She moved her arm and started to sit up. Then most amazing thing happened. The bare movement of her arm lifted her right out of the bunk where she was lying. The man reached out and pushed her gently back. "Better fasten that strap across your lap, lady," he said, "if you don't want to float away." "Stop calling me lady," she said. Miss Pickerell said that, "Stop calling me lady. My name is Miss Pickerell." So he said, "I am Killian, executive officer of this ship. Hate to think what the captain is going to say when I tell him about you." Miss Pickerell didn't do anything. She simply fastened the strap. "Thank you, executive officer Killian," she said. "This strap does make me feel more secure," because she was floating here and there. "Just call me Mr. Killian." Miss Pickerell sat up, and this time she did not float out of her bunk. She saw that Mr. Killian was a middle-aged man with an expressionless face and leathery-looking skin. Even in this artificial light, Miss Pickerell could see that his brown hair was concerned at the moment with her own sensations. "I don't understand what has happened," she said. "Why do I feel so light?" So that man said, "Because we are traveling through space." "But we can't be," Miss Pickerell said. "We aren't even moving. I can feel that we are standing perfectly still." So that moment was quite surprising for Miss Pickerell. "Just seems that way," Mr. Killian said. "We are moving all right straight up." "Forevermore," Miss Pickerell exclaimed. "You mean we are in the stratosphere?" She had heard from her nieces and nephews about airplanes flying rapidly through the stratosphere high above the earth. I never imagined that stratosphere was like this, and I never would have thought this huge thing could really take off. Past the stratosphere, Mr. Killian said long ago. Miss Pickerell said, I'll send my nieces and nephews a telegram when we land. How soon will that be, Mr. Killian? And where are we going anyway? Be a long, long time before we land, Mr. Killian said darkly. If we ever do, and where we are going, you won't be able to send any telegrams. So, Mr. Killian told her that we are going very, very, very far from here. Miss Pickerell saw something moving from the corner of her eye. She turned her head and gasped at what she saw. The young man, Wilbur, whom she met outside the spaceship before, was not walking, but he was swimming. Why, hello there, Miss Pickerell, Wilbur said. He tipped his cap and then released it from his finger. The cap remained suspended in the air. Forevermore, Miss Pickerell said. Wilbur turned to Mr. Killian. Did you tell the captain Miss Pickerell came with us? Was he mad? Haven't told him yet, Mr. Killian said. Not supposed to interrupt him. Still busy over there in his own compartment. What's he doing in there anyway? Writing a speech, Wilbur said, to give when we get back to Earth. Might as well save himself the trouble, said Mr. Killian. We'll never get there now without Haggerty. Wilbur's face went quite white. He spoke in a hoarse, frightened voice. You mean we left Haggerty behind? Who's going to do the calculations for our flight? I'm not, Mr. Killian said flatly. I can only tell if we're on our course or off it. Guess I'd better check the instrument. He unfastened the strap which had been holding him down and floated across to the instrument panel. Wilbur, nervous and frightened, swam along close beside him. Neither paid any further attention to Miss Pickerell. She thought this was extremely rude of them because they were not paying attention on her. They hadn't even given her a chance to tell them that Mr. Haggerty was right down there on the ground, and all they had to do was to go back and get him if it was so important. As Wilbur and Mr. Killian floated away, Miss Pickerell decided this would be a good time to have a talk with the captain. The men might be afraid to interrupt him, but she certainly wasn't. Now you have to read the novel Miss Pickerell Goes to Mars to find out what happens next, because this is only one series from the series. One part of that series, Miss Pickerell Goes to Mars. Be connected with me. In the next video, I'll be giving you the question answers of this chapter. Thank you.